And the rash of drone sightings that began over parts of New Jersey over a month ago has now spread across the country, with sightings reported in Ohio, Utah, California, Texas. But so far, the government has furnished no concrete answers to the American people about the nature or the origin of these objects, and there doesn't seem to be any urgency. Tonight with me is someone who has been demanding answers, and he's going to weigh in on these odd sightings. Please welcome back to the program U.S. Congressman from New Jersey, senior member of the House Committee on Foreign Affairs, Chris Smith.
Thank you so much for having me, as always.
Delighted always to have you on the
program. Love your show.
Congressman, look, on December 12th, the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI jointly released a statement. Here's what they said. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat or have a foreign nexus. Congressman, that was a week ago, and now we're hearing that the FAA is banning drone flights near what they're calling critical infrastructure in New Jersey until January 17th. What is this about?
22 sites, and they coincide with PSE&G, which is the electrical company. Apparently, they asked for it, and they're right over, large electrical substations and the like. And they say it's out of an abundance of caution. You don't do that. You don't ban it, make it no fly if it's not more than that. So there's been this downgrading of concern. I mean, when Secretary Mayorkas said there's nothing unusual here, and John Kirby has just time and time again provided, in my humble opinion, disinformation about what is actually going on. Stop it. We want the truth. We want transparency.
John Kirby, who's the White House spokesman, national security advisor, he was asked about the drone activity. He said it's all lawful and legal, okay? But you've spoken to the Coast Guard since then, and he indicated that the Coast Guard may have mistaken these drones for aircraft flying over JFK.
Right.
You spoke with a commander at the Coast Guard. He told you what? Well,
he told me absolutely. One of his 47-foot rescue boats had drones following off the stern 100 feet. That's close. That's 3 first downs on a football field. And, the Coast Guard personnel are very smart, situationally aware. They have to be for the tasks that they undertake. And they know what they saw. And then he goes and says, and this is in Ocean County, pretty far away from JFK, that these were jets going into John F. Kennedy. That is absurd, and they're doubling down. I just talked to a Homeland Security representative who said, we've looked at this, and what have you looked at? Have you talked to the commanding officer who told me this, and the crew on that vessel? Don't lie to us. Be honest. Be transparent. Sometimes you can't tell us, the public, everything because of secrecy purposes. But there's been a full month of this, and we're still dealing with, look at that.
Yeah, ignore it. You're not seeing anything.
You're not seeing
it's all legal. Don't worry about it. On December 16th, Congressman, President-elect Trump was asked about these drone sightings at a press conference at Mar-a-Lago. Here's what he said.
The government knows what is happening. Look. Our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Okay, Congressman, there was a briefing for the Intel Committee at the House. You heard what Trump said there, that the government knows. Have you been furnished with sufficient answers?
No, not at all. And nor has most members. And I would suggest, because I've been on secret meetings myself, a part of, not that one, that you don't always get everything. They hold back for whatever reason, because there's a lot of leaking that goes on. But frankly, we don't know where they came from, what's the origination. I asked Secretary Mayorkas in a meeting that we had online, and I said, why don't we just follow one of them or shoot one of them down?
Shoot them down,
they're unmanned, and do it in a way that does not put people on the ground at risk, and decipher who it is. It could be China, it could be Russia, it could be Iran,
Yeah.
it could be a lot of other, it could be a terrorist state, but they're so sophisticated that it suggests a superpower like China or Russia, and they are so advanced in their drone technology, and we can't follow them.
And what did Mayorkas say?
No, he just says we can't follow him. He was clueless. He was deer in the
So
headlights.
what do you think it is? Level with us. What do you at this
Well,
point?
I think-
you've talked to so many players here, on the front lines of this. What is this? Is it? Look, I've been told by people. I'll just be candid here that it's military aircraft.
Well,
military drones.
I've asked that question at the very top, and they have told me this has nothing to do with DOD or any of our assets, CIA, you name it. It's not U.S. So if it's not U.S., who is it? I mean, Putin has been using drones in warfare, and so is
Yeah.
Ukraine. China has perfected, the art of war, wrong word, but it is a terrible, horrible
Well,
art.
they flew
using-
balloons all over the United States.
We
for
did nothing.
Reconnaissance.
We did nothing, and they went over our various bases.
Right.
Got all
Is
kinds
this a
of information.
continuation of that? do
I
you
think a reasonable man or woman can speculate that China could be behind this. We don't know it absolutely, but if they do know it, they should tell us. And they have not told us. And why not get one of the drones and find out?
Right, just
Bag
shoot it down and
Bag
figure it out. Yeah, this
exactly.
is not hard. And it
ridiculous.
does. They do travel over water.
They
or
do.
They're over air.
Like the ones I'm talking about here.
They
with the-
shut down.
with-
They
with
shut
Coast
down
Guard.
whole runways at LaGuardia.
I know,
I mean,
I know.
shoot it down over a
They've
runway.
been over. I have a naval weapons station, Earl, in my district.
Yeah.
It's where the Navy gets a lot of its munitions. There's a long track. It goes out to the pier. Ships come in and they are loaded with munitions. They've been spotted over Earl. And to me, at that point you say enough is enough. We're gonna bring one of these down and find out, is it China or Russia or some other country?
The fact that President Trump canceled his weekend
I saw that.
plans to Bedminster in New Jersey, where these drones were also flying over, tells you almost everything.
And I love the
you
way
need
he
to
did.
know.
He did it with tongue in cheek, but he knows he could be at risk.
Right, right. And we should all be concerned about that.
should be.
I want to move on quickly. President-elect Trump and VP-elect Vance interjected themselves into this debate over federal spending just days before the government could shut down. There is a continuing resolution funding of a bill that could sail through Congress, but it's stalled. And this is going to fund everything from now till March. Vance and Trump are saying, don't do this. It's going to raise the debt ceiling. We've got to cut programs. Your take on this? Where are we now? And do you think there's time to look at options here?
Well, I think we're likely going to have a so-called clean, which means just change the dates so that the government, as it's operating now, continues to sometime in early March. And frankly, that would give the president the opportunity to really create a budget to get us working on a Trump budget for fiscal year 2025. And I think normally all of this should have been done by the end of September. That's when our
Right.
fiscal year ends. But it's been
But
delayed.
don't we play this game every year?
single
It's
year.
always Christmas Eve, Christmas
right.
Day.
Merry
you know,
Christmas.
yeah, Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
We're
Or Happy New
maxing
Year.
out your
Or
credit
Happy New
cards.
Year.
Yeah,
That's
good luck. I want to talk for a moment. You recently voiced concern over reports of U.S. involvement
Yes.
in a pro-abortion bill in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
The Biden administration is threatening to withhold foreign assistance to Sierra Leone unless legislators there pass a deceptively named Safe Motherhood Act legislation. It would legalize abortion in the country, a country that currently protects unborn life. What's happening there, and what measures can you or anybody else take to stop what amounts to coercion on the part of the Biden administration?
Raymond, this is why I held up final passage of a 5-year reauthorization of the president's emergency plan for AIDS relief.
Right.
Because Biden had hijacked the AIDS program, which was doing good things under George W. Bush, hijacked it and said, right in his guidance, change the laws in these countries as it relates to abortion. In other words, liberalize abortion.
Yep.
The people that we support, the funding that we give, and we're talking, in that case, $6.8 billion per year. That is a critical mass of funding where a African country, for example, or others that are PEPFAR recipients would find themselves under enormous pressure. So we've been fighting against that. Now there's a thing called the Millennium Challenge Corporation, which has a mandate to try to do good governance, and they give out money to countries like Sierra Leone. Well, we have a very credible sources suggesting that they're trying to link passage of that bill with over $400 million that the Biden administration has agreed to give them. I'm saying foul. You can't do that. And I'm ordering and asking for it, and I think we'll get it, an Inspector General's report about whether or not Sierra Leone is the only country. There may be others because they do things, again, non-transparently. Yeah. And how dare we coerce, perfect word, say you need this money, you need it badly for humanitarian reasons, and we're going to now link it with killing your babies on demand under the false statement of safe motherhood. Yeah. I've read the bill from cover to cover. It's all about abortion for any reason whatsoever, socioeconomic, mental, and I did talk to the speaker of Sierra Leone. Yeah. He's very pro-life, and I do have every confidence they're going to resist this pressure. But how dare the Biden administration again weaponize every federal program, foreign and domestic, to promote the chemical poisoning of, the dismemberment of unborn children by way of abortion. And that's what they've done, from the VA here to DOD to everything, everywhere else. And now our foreign aid is being linked. If you're going to do foreign aid, do it out of pure altruistic, humanitarian reasons. Don't you dare push an agenda that includes abortion on demand.
Congressman Smith, you and I know, because I remember covering this with you, gosh, it's got to be 25 years ago, maybe longer now, when the Clinton administration was holding foreign aid hostage to abortion legislation in foreign countries.
They were doing it. And matter of fact, Hillary Clinton had an outsized role in that. Right. And then during Obama for 8 years, we had to fight that every single day. And I'm not exaggerating, because they tell these people, you want your foreign aid? Well, if you want foreign aid from the United States of America, you better liberalize abortion. And who loses? The mothers, the babies, and families.
Congressman Chris Smith, we will leave it there. We'll check in with you in the new year.
Raymond,
thank you. Wonderful Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Raymond.